Hey guys, how's it going? So this video is going to be about what to think about when you're buying an electric longboard.
Yeah, so there are going to be 5 main things that we want to discuss about this video and some other stuff as well. But the 5 main things we want to talk about is where you buy it, the board in general, the motor, the battery, and the wheels. Where you buy your board is very important. If you buy it at a place like Best Buy or Fry's Electronic, you're going to usually sometimes pay twice the amount of a regular board. The quality of the board is going to be usually pretty good, where it's going to last you a couple of years if you take care of it. But the main thing is the top speed, because little kids are able to get access to those easier. They're going to be a lot more regulated. So the top speed is going to be half the speed, if not sometimes. Which isn't a bad thing for girls and kids. Sometimes that's what they definitely prefer, because it's not as fast.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about going on one that goes 25 miles an hour. I would fall.
Yeah, and the same thing with me. Like, I still fall sometimes on the 12 mile an hour one that we have. And then buying online from an online store, you're usually going to pay half the price. The speed is usually twice the amount, and you're really getting more for your money. The quality is going to either be the same or a little bit better, if not. And then the next thing we want to talk about is the board itself.
There's different shapes with different types of longboards. The one that we have, it's a speed shape. So it's really nice. I love this type of board. On the Eagle too, it had like a fish type shape. It was very wide and bulky, and I personally didn't really like it. I don't know if I'm just being biased because I really like this board, but it wasn't something that I chose to ride first. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I feel I enjoy the speed board as well a lot better. You can control it a lot better, turns a lot better, compared to the fish-shaped board that the Generation 2 board had that we bought. We really didn't like the Generation 2 board as well, as much compared to the first one, so we only had it for a day or two probably and returned it. It just was too bulky for me. I prefer a skinnier board, more of a longboard kind of shape board, but that's just me preference. And then another thing is the length of the board. We see some that are around 36 inches length, and then our board is 45 inches. I definitely prefer a longer board than a smaller board. I feel like you can handle the speed better and balance yourself a lot better. And then for guys, I prefer the longer. Tall people, I prefer a bigger board.
I completely agree with that. The board definitely plays a big factor when it comes to longboards. Personal opinion.
Yeah.
The next thing we're going to talk about is the battery. So on the different places you get the batteries or the longboards, the batteries are a little different. This whole middle part right here, if you can see it, is the battery. So
almost the whole length of the board, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
We all know boosted board has the top and bottom and the space in the middle free.
Yeah. Eventually, over time, it's gonna get scratched up and it's gonna not always look the best. But I don't feel like the battery plays a huge part in the drive and everything that comes along with it. But I feel like you'd be able to do a lot more tricks on the electric longboard if the battery wasn't in the way. Also on the battery, there's little compartments on there for the USB port, the Bluetooth, and then where you put the charger in. The only thing I would say that I would like for them to change, this used to have a rubber grommet around it to fit in there and protect it from water. Well, that fell off sometime when we were riding and we had no idea. So if they had that built in, that would be great. Also on this right here is the charging port. You just need to make sure that you close it every time you take your board out, because if you obviously don't want to get water in that.
It's nice that the bottom one or the top one is attached. Like we said, we already lost the bottom one for the USB, so it's just asking for water to get in there and mess up the board now.
Unfortunately.
Then yeah, for the battery, if you have a longer battery, it's gonna go a lot longer, and you're gonna be able to go the speed a lot faster. The speed is gonna be able to be the same throughout the battery's life compared to having the boosted board where it's super small, lasts about 3 to 7 hours. These last around 3 to 7 miles for the boosted board. These last anywhere from 10 to 15 miles distances, and continuously going 12 miles an hour.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, and that was another big thing for me, was where I was worried about where the battery was, how long it was, if I was going to snap it, if it was going to cause damage over time. I would say it's going to take you about probably a couple of years for you to mess up the bottom of the battery. This is Peanut. He's always bothering us when we're making videos. But the battery shouldn't really worry you. Yeah, you're gonna hit curbs, you're gonna hit bumps and stuff, and rocks are gonna scratch it up. But they built it where it's gonna be good enough and gonna last you. And the next thing we want to talk about is the wheels. Definitely, you want to have big wheels for an electric longboard, because when you're riding when you're going through the cement, the sidewalk to the street to the sidewalk again, you're gonna have a lot of bumps and stuff like that. And if we're having regular 32 millimeter skateboard wheels,
you'd fall off so
you're
quick.
definitely gonna fall off super fast. These ones are 71 millimeter, I believe, and they go over everything. Besides the huge cracks that are 3 inches, 4 inches high up in the air, you have to stop for that, of course. But I definitely recommend the bigger wheels.
Absolutely, I completely agree with that. Most of the big boards are going to come with the big wheels. Leave them on there, don't change them. If you do change them to something that is not plastic, that's not going to wear and tear over time, but definitely not something that's going to pop when you ride over glass.
So you never know when you're going to ride over glass.
Yeah, absolutely. Other than that, the only thing that we really did with it is we made a little modification to the board. He added 3 holes in it for handles. So when you're carrying it, it makes it a little easier instead of holding it
4 feet up in the air, straight ahead of you.
Because those things are heavy.
Yeah. Another thing I want to mention is the flexibility of the board. With the battery being there, it's not really a big difference. When you're riding the board and it needs to bend or flex, it will bend or flex, and you don't feel like it's gonna break the battery. Other than that, I really don't have anything else to say. If we've helped you out at all, please like our video, subscribe to our webpage or to our YouTube page. We're just barely started getting out. We're barely starting to get out, and we're gonna make a lot more videos about just basically our lives, my car, the skateboards, our lives, her cooking, and other stuff like that. So keep posted.
Yeah.